Now that I'm done doing yard work, I'm gonna go take my truck to get it washed. I haven't washed it in like 2 weeks. It has been about 4 days since I went through that mud puddle and I still haven't washed my truck. So now it's all like dry and crusty and it's nasty. So it's about time I go wash it. I'm gonna go take my own bucket to the car wash and my own soap because I don't like to use the brush that they have over there. I'm just gonna use the pressure washer but wash everything by hand. We're gonna use this bucket because the blue bucket, I had diesel fuel in there for a while and it smells like diesel fuel, so I'm just gonna use this bucket. Front yard is looking great because I just cut it yesterday. Duramax. I forgot to get the car wash soap. Yeah. This is kind of important when you're going to wash your car. This Circle K has the cheapest diesel price. It's $2.07 here and it's like $2.13, $2.15 basically everywhere else. And luckily, the car wash is right over there. So it's like, it's connected. It's like the next parking lot. I'm just gonna fuel up here and then I'm gonna go over to the car wash and wash the truck. Look at this Crown Vic right here. So I'm here at the car wash. I'm about to wash my truck. Should take like 15 minutes at the most, maybe 20 minutes. And I'll talk to you guys after I'm done. I just got done washing the truck, and for today's video I just want to talk about it's something that me and John were talking about a couple of days ago, and it has to do with how now both of us have different trucks than like 3 years ago. So like John had a single cab GMC Sierra, and then back then when he first got that truck, I didn't have a truck. So when he got that truck, we didn't really know much about trucks. Like, we just liked trucks, but we didn't know anything about it. And when he first got that truck, it had a lift kit. It had 35s, but we didn't know like what that meant. We didn't even know what kind of lift kit it had. And honestly, I didn't even think that thing was really lifted because it was like a single cab and it was so like tiny, it didn't look that big. So so he got that truck and I didn't have a truck then. And then we were talking about how it's so much cheaper to modify older trucks than newer trucks, because he's been trying to figure out what he wants to do with this new truck, but there's like, he doesn't want to cut anything, and he's so limited to what he can do because everything is so expensive with his truck. Whereas this old truck, literally the month before he sold it, we did so much to it. He was always kind of like jealous of how bright my truck was, so he bought HIDs, LED cubes, and a light bar, and we installed all of that like literally 2 weeks before he sold it. I mean, at the time we didn't know he was going to sell the truck. So we did all that, and then, you know, one day he came across that GMC Sierra and he was just like, I want it. So he went and traded it in. We were hanging out and we were just kind of bored, so we started going through my Instagram because, you know, we started looking back at our old build. So we started talking about his truck first, and then we were like, hey, I told him, I was like, hey, I actually have everything documented from day one. And I honestly started the Instagram account mainly, it was like a journal for me to keep up with my build. I didn't care about how many followers I had. I honestly I actually had that account private for a while. So like I only had like 100 followers, and every time somebody would try to like follow me, I just kind of declined it because I didn't really want people like following me on that page. It was mainly for me to follow other people and for me to keep up with my build. So every time I did something, I would post it on that Instagram page, and it was for me to look back at, and it was for me to like keep track of what I had done to my truck. So we spent like 30 minutes to like an hour just looking back at my build and what all we've done. As I was looking through the pictures, I really started like kind of missing the old truck. And it's funny because when I first got that truck, I thought it was badass. Like that stock truck, it like looking back, it literally just looks like a grandpa truck. It looks like a truck that like an 80-year-old grandpa would drive. It had bug deflectors, mud flaps, stock everything. It was ugly, but I thought it was badass. So when I first got that truck, every time I hung out with John, I would park next to him and I would take pictures because I thought, you know, it was badass having a truck, and I thought the truck looked so good. I actually thought bug deflectors looked really good back then too. When I removed the bug deflector, it kind of looked like someone had shaved off the eyebrows. So I thought it looked weird at first, and then I smoked out the parking lights, and I thought that was so cool. And then I smoked out the tail lights, and then I put some halos eventually, and I thought, you know, that setup was legit. Like I thought it was so cool. Let's go through my build together. So if you guys go to my Instagram right now, you guys can see like my build from the very beginning, like from the first day I got my 1500. Oh yeah, and I plasti dipped. Okay, so I got my 1500. It says day one, pretty much everything is stock but looks good, and I tagged like Sierra Fam, GMC Mafia, Southern Truck Porn, blah blah blah. And then next thing I did was I plasti dipped the GMC emblem. And John had to help me out because I've never done it, and that's something John did to his truck. So I was like, hey bro, can you help me out? So he helped me out, and I thought it was absolutely badass. And here's a picture that I took right next to John's truck, because like I said, I always took pictures, you know, every time I parked next to him because I thought my truck was badass. And I never thought his truck was that big, but like parking next to his truck always sat like 4 inches higher than mine. So that made me realize, oh, his truck really is lifted. But because it was a single cab, it didn't look that tall, or it didn't look that big. And then here it is, I smoked out the parking lights. And then here's the setup with the 2014 all-terrain wheels. And here's another picture that I took next to John's truck. I'm not gonna lie, when I took this picture, I thought it was so badass. Like, I kid you not, I really thought it was badass. And then here's a picture that I took next to my uncle's 2014 Sierra when he first got it. So it was like both trucks were stock. He didn't have a leveling kit, I didn't have a leveling kit. Here's a picture I took when we went to North Carolina for our snowboarding trip. And here's a picture I took next to Spencer's truck. I always park next to Spencer too whenever I saw him at school. And then these are the halo headlights that I bought for like 70 bucks from Athens. Like I was randomly just like on Athens Craigslist. I would like search every city that was near me. So I would search Athens, Columbia, and like even like Atlanta. And then I found these in Athens. I texted my friend Joseph and I was like, hey bro, I will send you 70 bucks if you can meet up with some dude and buy these headlights for me. Joseph was nice enough to meet up with the guy and get these headlights for me. And then I ordered some halos, and here is this is a video where I don't know if you can see it, but I built color shift halo headlights. And then here's a picture of my truck next to Joseph's Jeep. And then here's my truck. I thought it was badass. My headlights in action. And here's a picture that I took of my truck from the car wash that I was just at. Here's a picture that I took when I went camping. I thought this picture was legit, and that still looks really good. It's a really good picture. It has a sunset behind it. And then here's the fuel hostages. It actually came with some, like, what is it, Continental tires, but they weren't balanced, so I just decided to upgrade to Cooper. So here's a picture of my truck with the Cooper 33-inch all-terrain tires, and this was before the leveling kit, so my truck was rubbing like crazy. Here's a picture of my truck after the leveling kit. And it lifted my truck about an inch or two overall, and at the time I was like, whoa, my truck is lifted. And here's a Transformation Tuesday picture I posted. This is a weird phase where I try to plastic dip my grill, because I saw this picture on Reddit. This guy had plastic dipped his like wife's Jeep wheels, and he used black plastic dip and gunmetal plastic dip, and he made it look so good. So I tried it, but I did it wrong, so it just turned out gray and it looked terrible. Yeah, it was so ugly. I kept it like that for about 2 weeks, and I just peeled it off. And then I bought these halo headlights that are chrome, and once I put them on, I was like, damn, they're ugly. So I had them for like 2 days. I removed them and I sold the headlights right away. And here's another picture that I took next to John's truck. So in this picture, I have 33-inch tires and a leveling kit, and we are sitting almost level. His truck is still sitting like an inch higher. And then just a few more pictures of my truck with the leveling kit. And then here's a picture of stock GMC headlights, and I cleared the amber reflector on the side, and then I put one color shift halo ring. I put the one color shift halo ring on where the high beams go. And then here's a picture of my truck when I first put the LED pods and the 22-inch light bar. And I'm just gonna fast forward through all these pictures. Y'all can go check them out. And here's a picture of my truck when it first got the lift kit. So it got the lift kit, but it still has the 33-inch all-terrain tires. And then I'm just gonna skip through. And then here is a picture of my truck when I first got the 35-inch Cooper. I keep saying Cooper. The BFG KO2s. Like, it looks so much better with 35-inch tires. And then here's a picture from 4th of July. Well, here's a couple of pictures from 4th of July where I had the flag on the back. And then here's a picture when I first got the tow mirrors. God, it brings back memories. The feels. And then here are a couple of pictures from the camping trip. And here's me pulling the trailer. It was like the trailer for our church. And here's another picture next to John's truck. And this time my truck is sitting like 3 inches higher. And then once again, another picture of my truck next to John. God, I miss this truck so much. It was a good looking truck. And then here's a picture of my truck with John's truck when he first got his fog lights installed. And then this is the last picture I took of John's GMC Sierra right before he sold it. We really should have put tow mirrors on that truck. It would look so good. And then here's my truck with demon eyes that I, made. And I'm just gonna skip through my old setup. And then here is a picture of me and Bubba. This was the day we traded wheels. And yeah, his Instagram account is 12 Stealth GMC. So if you guys want to go follow him. But since then he's gone through like 4 or 5 different wheel setup. A couple of pictures of my truck with my color shift halos. And then, boom, my Duramax, the first day I got it, which was January 16th. No, I got it, yeah, January 13th. So, yeah, that was the first day I got the truck. So it's been about 5 months. And it's come a long way. It's really fun just going back at just going through my Instagram and looking back at it and how, like, what all I've done to it. And it's cool. So that's why I like to post a lot, and I post every time I do something to my truck, just so that way I can go back and look at it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys had fun, because I had fun going back through my pictures just now, and I hope it was entertaining for you guys. Please stay tuned for my tomorrow's vlog, because tomorrow's vlog is going to be pretty entertaining because I'm going to have a special guest. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.